Okay guys, we're going to do a assembly today of the robot, and so the first thing I want to do is File, New, Assembly, and hit OK. And it's going to try to bring up this, so it's asking me to bring some parts in right away. So I'm just going to cancel here, and I'm going to exit here. And instead, I have a file folder opened up with the parts, and I have it on large icon so I can see the parts. And I'm going to bring in a part. Okay. First part you always bring in an assembly is going to have some type of orientation to it, or it's called fixed. And so if I bring this in, put it there, I'm going to just scoot this off the screen. You'll notice that if I click this part, right click it, it's going to say float, meaning it's going to do whatever it's not right now. So right now it's fixed. So if I rotate this, you'll notice the triad down here rotates with it. Okay, it's because it's all kind of locked in there. If I try to rotate the part by right-clicking and moving it, I can't. Okay, this is the middle mouse button, rotate. And then if I click a part and I try to rotate with my right click, and it says it's fixed, I can't move it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the part and say float. And so now if I right-click it, I can float it around. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull down the top view. Now that doesn't look like a top view to me, so I'm going to go on and say I'm going to call this the top. Okay. So I'm going to click the top, click mate, and say I want to mate this to the top plane. And there it is. Now I'm going to rotate this and say, okay, if that's the top, I want this to be the right plane. And I'm going to mate that to the right plane. And I hit green for go, and I'm done. And now take a look at what happens is if I hit the top view now, I get the top view. If I hit the right view, I get the right view. Hit the left view, I get the left view. And I can get the bottom view. There's even a back view. So if you're in a hurry and you want to get moving around your part, but now we're all oriented toward a system that makes sense to us from the point of view of this system here. Our top plane is the top plane. This is the right plane. Obviously, this would be the front plane. So if I do this, it's the front plane. So it's real important that you do that little orientation trick. And that was, if you just watch the tape again, you'll see how I did it. Basically, I made sure the part would float. Now, right now, if I click the part, it will try to not move when I do the right-click thing, okay, because it's anchored on all the planes, which is fine because we have to have something that's solid to work with. Okay, I'll pause here for a second. Okay, now we're going to bring in some actual parts we need to work with. So I'm going to make something that looks like this here in a second. We're going to show you how to do that. So I need a screw, and I need a nut. It's 1032 nut. This is called a bearing shim. Talk about that in a second. And I need 2 of those. So I'll just bring 2 of those in now. And then finally, I'm going to bring this thing in called the idler. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to go ahead and push this off the screen and then get refocused on the screen here. This is a bearing idler, and I didn't show the insides of this thing, but the one thing is it has inside a very small area that will have bearings on it, and so the outside will rotate and the middle will stay in one place. But the problem is it's a very small space, and so if I tried to put this on a shaft, which we're just going to use this bolt as a shaft, it would rub into this face area right here. This would rub into here, and that would not make it spin very easily, and we need it to spin because we're going to be using this to run our Z up and down motion. So what I have is these really cool little bearing shims, okay, and let me isolate one of these, and they're very thin. So if we actually measured this, it's only 16/1000ths of an inch thick, and it's very precise internal diameter and very precise external diameter. So we're going to stack that onto our system. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and click this, go right up here and hit mate, and we're going to zoom in on the inside of this, and that should have created this concentric for us. And now we need to move this down to the face, so we'll click the face of that, click the face of that, coincident, we're done with that. Now we need to put our bearing on the shaft. So we're just going to click our faces here, put this all together. All right, and you're that little shim. We're going to need that again. Now I can pick anything concentric because this screw is going to be really hard to pick anything concentric on. So we're going to click that, and that should be up there, but it's, now you notice that it kind of disappeared on us, so let's go ahead and go to here and pick that guy out of there, slide him out. All I did was I picked the different look view. So in other words, you're used to seeing this, but if something gets disappeared on you, just use one of these other views, okay? And that'll allow you to find it again. Now we're going to put that against that face. Okay. And lastly, we're going to put this nut on here. Now this nut doesn't have anything really good to pick off for a circle either. But remember, concentric is concentric. So if I pick a circular, and I pick anything that's a circular, it's going to try to do it. And I could actually flip that mate if I want. If I decide I wanted to use. Notice it's not mated yet, so we need to mate it to the face of that. Okay. And so there we are. We now have a assembly, little tiny assembly here, that's ready to go to be used somewhere in the system over here. Now, what we really want to do is get this thing rotated around, so I'm just kind of grabbing my right click here and kind of getting where I want. I want to put it in this slot. Now, this slot, I want this bolt to be right in the middle of this slot. And so SolidWorks 2017 comes with a really neat little mechanical mate. Now, you're used to using that standard mates up here all the time. If you go down here and hit mechanical mates, you're going to find one in the list called slot. So we're going to click slot, and all we got to do is click something that's going to be cylindrical. Okay, I can get this to select. Okay, and then I'm going to click the side of the slot face. All right, and I'm going to leave it in free. Okay, I can make it do a lot of things, but I'm just going to leave this in free mode right now. What it just did is it put that thing in the slot. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and mate it with a simple mate. Simple coincident mate, and that'll be the nut face and this face right here. Okay, hit that, and I'm just going to say I'm done with the mates, but I'm going to show you something here. You notice that it can move. Okay, see how it moves up and down? So we're going to do something about that here in a second when we want to do something with that to place it, but right now that part is done. Okay guys, we're going to bring in another part, which is the rail here. Okay, so we're going to bring that in here and just drop it off. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can have more room to move. And this is a tricky part because inside, first of all, if I looked at this from the end and zoom it up, these sides aren't necessarily all perfectly square and all that stuff. Sometimes they'll have a taper built into them. This was a part that I pulled from the manufacturer. And like these holes down here, they might look like circles and cylinders, but they might have a taper to them. So if you try to start doing things like concentric mates and parallel mates, they might not work too well. So I'm going to right click this with the mouse, just kind of orient it kind of where I want it to be. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this face, take the fast menu mate, and let's go ahead and put that down on the surface. Okay, and then instead of picking the whole side, which could be not parallel, I'm just going to pick a line here, right there, and I'll pick a line there, and I'll just say parallel, and that's good with me. And so now it's parallel, but it's not in position yet, and so now all we have to do is get something to position it. Well, those concentrics are really nice. I have a hole here it's supposed to mount to, and it's supposed to go through that hole. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick the edge, not the barrel. So that's a barrel. You take a look. If I zoom in, that's a barrel selection. We don't want that one. I'm just going to pick the circle. So I'm picking the circle there. And I just want to pick the circle here. And boom. It's in place and it's fully mated. Like I said, it's a thing you run into. You've got to be very careful. So just pick the minimum features you need to do. And a lot of times it's easy to kind of grab a whole cylinder or something, but you don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to bring in the bearing block now. And once again, I'm just going to slide that over here and slide this away. And you can minimize that if you're just using one screen too. Now remember we had the ability to just do top views. Well, we could do that right now if we want to look at the top view of this. But what I'm going to show you is from the side here, you'll see that there's some curves on here. Okay, is that curve? That's a curve that's supposed to match the curve on the bearing block, which is right there. So we're going to take advantage of that to mate this. Okay. So first I'm going to take this part, move it over, and then I'm going to rotate it up a little bit because SolidWorks actually watches what you're doing. And so it sees this kind of lined up, so it's going to kind of like help you along here. So we're going to pick this curve, click this mate, and now we're going to come in here and we're going to click that curve. And you'll notice that SolidWorks brought that right over for us. I'm going to green check that, and then I got to do the other side because otherwise it'll just flop around. So pick that curve there. These are called concentric mates, even though it's only part of a circle. It's still concentric. And I'll say I'm okay with that mate, and you'll see that we're ready to slide onto our bearing here, right there. Okay, and we're going to line this back up because we're going to put another part on this block yet. So let's kind of push that up there. Okay, we're going to bring another part in called the Z base. So just slide that over here, move it over. And once again, to help SolidWorks get this set up kind of for you, have it kind of oriented where you want it. And we're going to take advantage of these probably are nice cylinders here, so we're going to use that for our mates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick the inside barrel here. And notice I'm picking the barrel. See how it goes inside there? Pick mate. And I'm going to go pick that barrel. And it's lining that up. And I'll just push this away because I'm not really done yet. And I'll pick another barrel right there. And let's pick the inside barrel there. And now those are aligned. And now we're just going to put the faces together. And call it good for the mate. And so now we have that block in place now. Okay, we're going to bring in our couple of radial bearings. Now I drew these very simple. You can make them more elaborate with all kinds of ball bearing race faces and stuff. But if we are at this point, we should be able to take these bearings and put them in these holes. So first thing first, we'll probably go, as you can see, there's a cavity ready to go for this. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the concentric mate to here. Sorry, get the mate going here. Okay, I got a concentric mate, and I'll pull this out of the hole here for a minute so I can get the other mate going. And we'll mate the bottom of that. So we just put a bearing in the hole there, and we need one on the bottom too. So started out that being concentric. Okay. And sometimes, you know, you're going to get lost here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off on that one for a second. And I want to put that where I kind of can see it, because otherwise it's going to go flying around and I won't know where it's going. So we're going to rotate this around a little bit, so I have a kind of an idea where I'm going to go. And now I'll go ahead and redo those mates. So I got that one, and I'm going to do this one. It gets me my concentric. Pull it away. And this is a trick was done during the making this part. There's really going to be a hole there. It's just got a little membrane over it for the tricks when we keep things from going in the wrong place when we're doing 3D printing. So anyway, we now have the two bearings in there. Okay, let's go ahead and bring a motor into this now. And once again, from our groupings here, I'll just drag a motor over here. And we're going to have to pay attention because, see, this is going to go in this area, and it's made to adjust back and forth. So the mate we're going to use this time is we're going to go ahead and pick a mate. We're going to pick one of the advanced mates. Right here, we're going to pick the width mate. And it's under the width here. Nice mate. You pick the sides of the thing you want to start with. You can see I picked both sides of that. This is tab selections, and I pick the sides that I want to have it centered on. And that took care of that. Then I want to go back down to standard mates for a coincident mate, and that'll be this and this. And what that should do for me is I should be able to line these guys up, and you can see that we have the ability to slide back and forth on these motor slots. Like, once again, this is a printed part, so the slots had a little bit of a membrane in there to keep the bottom one so it can still print. But these are actually slots, so we're good for that. Okay, I've been kind of running right along here, and I realized that I put this blocking upside down. So we're going to do is, so you have experience in doing this. All I have to do is click View Mates, okay, and I'm going to use Control key and click both of these mates for the motor, say delete and say yes to all. And now I'm going to click the, looks like the motor disappeared on me. And then we're going to click this block, and let's click this block, and then we're going to View Mates, and I'm going to hover over the ones that I know they're right with the block that I want to flip over. So I'm going to hit Control on those and hit delete, say yes to all. Okay, and now I'm back to where this is all just floating. I need to flip this over. Okay, got that flipped over, and we're going to go ahead and put this all back together. So let's go ahead and pick this tube as a mate, and we'll pick the inside barrel. That is a concentric. It's lining things up already for us, and we'll pick this as a concentric, and come back to here and pick that as a concentric, and use our simple mates for the face, and that one's done. And looks like the motor disappeared on us here, so let's just bring the motor back in. Find the motor here. There it is. Motor's back in here. Don't know where that went. Okay, I'll rotate iron around a little bit. And if you recall, we're going to use the width mate on that. So we're going to get one side picked. The other side. Sorry. I'm sorry. Pick the width mate. It's an advanced mate. The width mate. So I got one side picked. Go to the boxes. The other side. This is the tab. This is the sides we want to mate or be similar down the middle of. Hit OK with that. Go back to standard mates. Hit coincident. Hit the face right here. And the face right there. And that should allow us to slide this back into place. And let's go ahead and bring in the tube, the brass tube here. Thin wall tube. We can do a really fast concentric on this. Just remember to hit the mate. Okay, and we'll slide that down for a minute. Kind of get like a momentum on these. Okay. Now we're going to bring in the sprockets. One of the sprockets has an undersized hole on it, but don't worry about it. We can mate that anyway. So we're going to bring in the 20mm sprocket here, and that's going to go to here. And I want to flip this up so it just go ahead and gets in the orientation I want. And if things get kicked around, you just move them back around. We need them. Let's try to get that a little more close to what I wanted it to look like. Okay, so that was the gesture trying to get in there. Sorry, that and that guy. Okay, and pick that up a little bit for right now. And we've got a bigger tooth sprocket coming in here. It's making sure my mates are done before I bring new parts in. This is the wrong size hole on this, but it's okay because we know we're going to be using a different size part for that. But just for right now, you can use this for the model. And we click that, click the mate, and we're going to put this on the tube. Okay. And we're going to make these two guys coincident together. And then I think we'll just drag this down here in a second. And let's put some kind of distance here. This to here. Let's make it something like, I don't know. How about 0.05? There we go. And notice everybody's moving around here. That's okay, because we're going to start putting things in place. Still got another motor to go here. Okay, yeah, we're going to bring this motor over here and just kind of rotate it around a little bit. And we're going to do a concentric on this. This ought to work. Sorry. Okay, that concentric's good. And then we're going to go and do a concentric on this one to this mounting hole. That rotated that in. And now we're ready to bring the face in to this space right here. And you got that motor in there. And now we're going to go to another drive sprocket, which is this one. Bring this one in. Oops, hold on. Once again, it's not happy because the mates are still running. Like I said, this will get so fast, you're going to quit. You're going to like bang it along here really quick. Okay, same thing. I'm going to click the barrel here. Barrel. Okay, mate. Pick that shaft. And whenever this happens, I like to kind of like get them over to where I can see them because I don't want them disappearing inside things. So I just stop that mate by doing it back. And now I've done it that way. And so it's over in the right direction now. And I'm just going to slide that around. Okay, now we do have a problem right now, and that is this is flipped. The shaft's flipped. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just restart that one. Let me flip that around this way. Okay, and now let's do that concentric again. And as I said, SolidWorks pays attention to your cues. If you put something in kind of backward, it'll put it in just as backward as you have it. Okay, and now we have the two drives here, okay, ready to go. And we can just slide this guy down now. And what I haven't done is attached this tube to anything. So let's go ahead and mate this top, this to the top of the tube. Okay, now we got that. And this assembly sliding down in here. Okay. Okay, we're going to try a little trick here, putting a belt in. It's called Insert Assembly Feature Belt Chain. And all we have to do is click that and that, and you'll see that it just tried to put a belt in for us. Okay, and we're going to leave everything else down here not in. We'll leave the engaged belt, create a belt part, and then hit green. Okay, and that's going to make something for us down here, and I have to get to this, and it will be the belt it made. Excuse me. Need to edit this. It's not letting me get there because I have something over top of it. It's the I'm having a problem with getting that open. Okay. There we go. So it opened up a little sketch for us here. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit the sketch, and we're going to click this, and everything's grayed out. Hang on a second. Okay, we're going to try that one more time here. Insert Assembly Feature Belt Chain. Click that. Click that part of it. And down here, you want to use a belt thickness of 0.050, and we do want to make a belt part. And click green. Okay, then come back down here, open that up, and we're going to I want to edit this part. Okay, and then you should have everything like normal now. Now we told it was 50 thousandths bigger, so we're going to edit this sketch. And the second I try to edit this sketch, I get in trouble here. Hang on one second again. Okay, guys, looks like the derived sketch that it creates, we can't edit it directly. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick the front plane and just do a new sketch. Okay, and first we'll do is convert. everything over to our new sketch. I converted that. Now I'm going to use offset entries, because you remember we said the belt was 0.1 thick, so we get to do that. Exit sketch, and now we're going to do extrude boss base, and we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to do mid plane, and what that should have done is given us a mid plane, meaning it extruded forward and backward at the same time across this plane. And if we save OK, here's close out here, yes, and you'll see we have a belt now. Okay, and we're going to do that one more time so you can watch it one more time. Insert assembly feature, belt chain. It's the two of them. Go back down here, so use a belt thickness of 0.05 on this one. Okay, and we do want to make a belt part. Hit that. Okay, this should be our second belt, which should be down here, I guess. Yep. And we'll open that one up. Same exact thing. We will pick the front plane, make sketch, and you'll notice this looks a lot different, right? Offset the stuff here. I'm just going to do a 0.05. Okay. Now sketch, just like always. The only difference is we're going to do extrude boss base. Pick the wrong contours. Not the whole sketch. It's really trying hard to make that happen. Let's try one more time. Okay, this is our sketch. We're going to say this sketch, extrude boss base. And let me pause for a second. Okay guys, I made a small mistake here if anybody caught me. I've got a front plane to this sketch, but what I forgot to do was to convert. So I got to bring these items onto my new sketch, right? And do a convert. Now I can do an offset entry. I gave me my 050 offset, exit sketch. Now when I do extrude boss base, I just go to mid plane and kick it out to 2/10. Hit that OK. File, close. Yes, yes. Back in the assembly, and now we have belts on everything. Okay. Sorry about that little mess up there, but that's how you learn. Okay. Hey guys, I was out grabbing some more parts, getting ready for the next part, and I realized that I put this in upside down. So all we have to do is go catch this guy, do a view mates. Okay. And you'll see these are their two mates that we made for the rail. Okay, so let's just get rid of that, and then we're going to come back and flip this thing over. Okay, and we're going to put our mates back. Now it's that one, mate to the curve over here. Go in to get it. One done, and one more here. Oops. That one. It's not grabbing it here. Hang on. Get a better picture. Okay. SolidWorks can't see it, and it won't do it. Okay. And that should put everybody back on track here. Okay. And you'll notice one other thing that might have happened here, and that's the belt disappeared. No, there it is. The belt is locked, so we're going to try to edit the belt, and that's that belt. So let's try to see if we can open that up. Open the belt, and I think I found out that it had a view. When I did a view mate on this, actually, let me go back to the other system. If we do a view mate on this part, you'll see it's locked. Just suppress that, okay? And that lets the belt go free. It's free from the sketch that we used to make it. And now we have to simply do some simple mates here. Grab that. We're going to mate that to the inside wall of that. And let's just go ahead and put the belt on the pulley. Like that. There we go. Okay, the other one probably have to have that done too, but it doesn't move like this one does. So, and then one other little problem we got is the tube is now on the wrong end of the mate. And there's a coincident mate there. So let's just delete it. Okay. and we will move the tube around here. And we're just going to kind of make it go through here a little bit. We don't need any more than we have to up on the top, so let's go ahead and do the mate here. I'll mate that surface to this surface, and mate that to that. And I'll tell you what, we'll just go and put a distance mate on out of the 0.1, just so it sticks out a little. There you go. And now we got everything put back where it's supposed to be. Hey, one more thing. This sketch right here, it's just part of the work sketch, so let's just go ahead and suppress that. And I think we can get away with that one. Yeah. So everybody's still okay. I moved this up here because we're going to put a clip in here, so just get that out of the way. And we need to go get a clip here. Let me grab that real quick. Okay, we're going to bring this clip in because this is actually what makes the belt tie into the other system. So let's rotate it around here, and we're going to have to do a width mate on this because this was designed to be really close in. So I think we're just going to use a width mate on the belt. So let's go ahead and do that. Mate, got to go advanced mate because we're doing a width mate. All right, find the width mate here. Width. I'll pick that side, and pick this side of the belt, and that side of the belt. Okay. Now that's that part, and then we got to bring it over here to where we want it. And we're just going to put it here for a minute. Actually, I think it flips around the other way, but I'm not positive. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mate this to the inside here, this inside wall, that one, and to the belt. And that's going to be a standard coincident mate. Okay, and we'll bring this assembly back down in. And the way this actually works is this runs this, okay? But that's all in there. That's all that matters. It's all in there. We can mate all that up here. In fact, we can flush that out now, I guess. Let's flush that out now in the face here. Might not like that one. No, don't like that one. Okay, we're just going to leave that alone. It's on the belt. That's all that matters. We'll come back and fix that later. Okay, so we're going to move on, and we're going to grab the one of the pieces here, and we will need the, looks like the 6-inch link or the 7th-inch link. Hang on, let me find which. Okay, we're going to bring in the 7-inch link. Here it comes. Okay, and that doesn't look like the right one. Hang on, I just went to 6-inch link. Hang on. Just thought I had that worked out. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, we want the 6-inch link, which is on here. Let me find it real quick. It should be on here. Oh, here we go. There's the 6-inch link, and there we go. Okay, so we're going to use some concentrics on this because this is made to fit in here. So let's pick that point, and we'll pick up this round spot here. Okay, it's one. And then we're going to pick up the other round point there. We'll pick up that spot there. Unless I picked the wrong one. Nope, didn't buy that one. You know what? I think I did put the wrong mate on that. Hang on here. Let's see what mates we got here. Actually, it's easier to pick the other spot because this thing only has a few mates. Tell you what, let's kill these guys right here because that's not what we wanted. Okay, so all the links are gone. All our matches are gone. So if I pick that and I pick that, I should be able to pick these two. The concentric. I better stop here a second. Those could have worked, but the better pick is pick the center hole in the concentric there for the mate. So we're going to pick that center hole, and that brought those two together. And then we'll pick the other one there and that one, and that should have rotated. Nope, didn't. Clear those selections, and we want to pick the hole and that. And it's picking up her tangent now. Okay, hold on. Well, I got so many things to pick from to do on this, so I'm going to say pick this one and pick the mounting hole, which is actually right there. So let's just zoom down in there and pick that. And it's concentric and say good. And then we'll come down the other side and we'll pick this hole and go down in there and pick off this one and go concentric. And then we're going to mount this thing in the box. Hang on. So we're going to pick the bottom of this and the bottom of the box. Okay, you've just installed that head in there. Okay, now we're going to bring in the stainless rod. These are the ones you guys saw, the fire and stuff on the video. If you guys were last year's engineering open house. We're just going to put that in there for right now. I'm going to leave it to you guys to use your fastener skills to put 832 screws in here if you want. Okay, let's pause there and keep going here. Okay, we're going to bring in the 6-inch link. Oops, keep forgetting to turn off the mates before I do that. Bring in the 6-inch link. Oops, supposed to bring in the 7-inch link. Hold on, just back it out. Let's go get that 7-inch link. There it is. Okay, the 7-inch link's here, and this is a pure link. The difference is there's a 10mm hole and an 8mm hole. Okay, so the way our robots stack up is, first of all, we're going to put this concentric with this. Get that mate going. Where we're going. Mate. There we go. Mate. And go concentric with that one. And this link's underneath this one. That's how it's made up. Okay, and we're going to keep this down a little bit. I'm going to drag this rod down. And then we have to put a sprocket on here. So let's go get a 40mm or 42 sprocket. Once again, mate's got to be off. And that's going to go there. So let me flip that around so it's going to show up in the right orientation. I think that's about what it does right there. Okay, and we're going to go there, mate, go concentric. And once again, I think this is probably the wrong sprocket that I'm putting in there. It's got a 5mm to 8mm hole. We're not get that might be the right one, 5mm. Okay, so anyway, I've got that on there now. And I think we're going to go ahead and put this guy in. I'll tell you what, we've got to put some bearings in here yet. I think some bearings go in there. Yeah, some bearings still go in there. All right, so we need to get some of those 5mm bearings, 8mm bearings. Let me go find those real quick. Hey guys, this is going to mate to here. I put that in there, so we're going to we just basically break that mate that was the other bearing, and we're just moving it over the other side. So these are going in this hole here, so we're going to move in and do those first. Concentric mate to there, okay. And then we're going to do one more underneath. We'll flush them out here in a second. And concentric mate to there. And then we're going to make that and that flush. Got that one right. Now we'll do the same one on the top. Wherever it went. There it is. That. And that. And that goes there. Now, now we can make this shaft. It's really made to go to these guys. So there you go. And we'll bring the face of this shaft down to the base. No, not the edge. You see yourself got the wrong ones. Zoom in and do a better job of picking the face. And we're going to go down to here. It's good. Now we could go ahead and bring this assembly down. Let's see. Let's bring the sprocket down where it's going to need to be, which is somewhere in here. Tell you what, we'll go there and there, do a distance mate of 0.050. There you go. All right, and then we're going to leave this guy down here for a minute because we have a few pieces to put in here. Let's put the motor mount plate in. Okay, let me see if I can find that real quick. Motor mount plate, there it is. Okay, and as always, mates are on. And oh, here we go. Okay, flip it around, and like that. And so this, I think the best thing to do on this one is a width mate, since we're back to slots, and we don't have to get that particular about the slots on this one. I think there was another version of this part made that has a, yeah, there's another version of this part. I don't know where it's at. Anyway, it's got a tab on the back, but for right now, we need this to put the motor in, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's do a width mate first, okay? So I'm going to pick this side, go to mate. It's an advanced mate, okay? So let's go get the advanced mates, and we're going to go find the width mate. Already got that one side selected. Select the other side, and our tab's telling us what do we want to center into. That side of the box and that side of the box. Okay, so that's done. Okay, and then let's put it down on the surface here. Oops. It's always tricky to get out back to standard mates because you're banging away on the other ones pretty fast. Now this should slide around. Okay, so we're going to let it slide around yet because we have to put a motor in there. And let's go put the motor in. And that's a 17 motor. So let's go find a 17 motor real quick. By the way, I'm going to remember to turn off mates this time and then drag the motor over. Okay, remember to kind of rotate it to where you need it to be because it makes the mate system work better. And this is an easy one, right? Concentric. It's the thing about round things, boy, that's really a lot of fun. Okay, and then we're going to need to orient the motor here. So let's go ahead and go concentric on that and that. That rotated it, and we'll use a standard mate to come up to the bottom of this. Okay, there we go. And you missed the whole motor there. Hold on. Like I said, I think this is the wrong motor shaft. Unless that's a 17 motor. You know what? I think it's a 17 motor, which I don't have on here. Okay, take that back. We don't want that motor. We want the 17 motor. But let's leave that one for the moment, and we'll slide it in. Once again, this is all about helping you get to here. Okay, and then if you remember, we have a sprocket already on here. Okay, now we have to put a drive sprocket on this one. Okay, so let's go get a drive sprocket here, 20 tooth. Let's put that on there. And we will do that, and we will do that. And forgot to watch that mate come on. There it is. Okay, does that look right? I think so. Okay, and we could just flush the top of that out with that. Flush the top of that and that. Okay. Oh, look, that should be right. It's like a little long. Let's reverse that last mate. What we have to do is pop it. And we'll go ahead and we'll face mount this one with a distance mate. and we'll make it 0.05. So done hit. Okay. I'm going to pause, put the belt on because you guys have done the belt. So I'll just do that real quick. Okay, guys. Excuse me. This is what it looks like with the belt in it. So we're there and that. And we're going to bring this on down. I'll bring this up because the other pieces. Oh, I forgot to break that thing. Hold on. Remember, this will have a mate on it that says this, and so you just suppress that sketch thing. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put this back. I put a distance mate on the belt. Excuse me. The belt, and I'll just put that back here in a second. And we'll put that right there. And somebody should have come up here. Their selections. Let's just put that belt. Just gotta pick the face of the belt here. There's the belt. Let's put it underneath there if we can. Oh, that ain't looking too good. Let's see if we can go transparent on this. Oh, that ain't good. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna clean this up, put the belt back on there, and then we're gonna move on to the final motor mounts. Okay, guys. I put the belt in there, which you already know how to do, and I actually forgot to put the motor in the right place, so the belt has to be redone by putting the motor over the right location. And then that will get you to the final point of putting those two together, and I just use concentrics with a distance mate right at the end down here. Okay, guys, I just brought over the tube support. These are just used for holding the tubes that handle the wires that we have to put in here yet. So let's just do an easy job of putting this down. I'm going to do let's do concentrics here and on the end down here, and then oops, it doesn't like that. Hang on one second. Yeah, that problem was with the belt, and it's a simple problem. I'll figure it out later. Right now we're just going to put this part in place. I did concentrics on that, and then we're throwing this down as a coincident mate just to finish that off to there. Like I said, these are used for the controlling the motion of the belt, or the hoses that handle all this stuff. So we'll just do this one here, that one, okay, that one, okay, that one, okay. All right. And so that gives us those guys. Our belt systems are in here. Like I said, I'm going to redo that belt anyway. We're going to set that up right. Okay, so I don't think I have a model, so I'm going to do a fast model of that motor. Hang on a second. Okay, McMaster Car had this on their website. It's a NEMA 23 3-stack motor. So we're just using it, and that's valid for them. I've talked to them in person, and they said they're okay with us using their drawings. In fact, anybody can use their drawings as much as they want. They really don't care. So let's see if we can get this to go for concentric. Yeah, it's good for concentric. Let's get this down here. And we're going to do a distance right to the face of that. Let's give it at least 50 thousandths of an inch clearance. And there we go. Now we got to find out who's fixed over here. So we're going to go do some searching around and see who's who. But as you can see, we almost have a completely finished robot. You guys can do a base for this. Okay. Our motors are threaded on this end, and I have long bolts that will go through plywood up through there. So I think we're going to do that base too yet. Okay, bringing in the robot base here. We'll flip it around a little bit, and we'll go ahead and take advantage of a thingy I saw. There's a little hole at the bottom here I put in. So we're going to get that thing, made it to that thing, or concentric, and then we'll put the base together. And let's go ahead and make one side parallel. And that, we'll go for parallel. Okay. Okay, and our problem is we got to go find out whose mate's doing that. Okay, guys, I still got to find a mate that's hanging me up here, but your robot should look like this when you're done. So if you've gotten all the way to here and you've accomplished the mission, you put a complete robot together. So we'll catch anything that's loose-ended on it. I just pressed some belts to make sure this thing would still move around, but I still can't get it quite moving. Okay, so we're going to call that a wrap for now, and good luck for you putting your robots together.